To start with, no new and revolutionary scientific theory is ever formulated in a manner that permits us to say under what circumstances we must regard it as endangered. Many revolutionary theories are unfalsifiable. Falsifiable versions do exist, but they are hardly ever in agreement with accepted basic statements. Every moderately interesting theory is falsified. Moreover, theories have formal flaws. Many of them contain contradictions, ad hoc adjustments, and so on and so forth. By the way, ad hoc is pretty much just it's a theory not being ahead of observation. When observations are made to fit the theory, then that's bad science. When theory can predict what observations are going to be, then you have novel science. Okay, that's just some philosophy of science for you. Ad hoc adjustments and so on and so forth. Applied resolutely, Popperian criteria would eliminate science without replacing it by anything comparable. They are useless as an aid to science. In the past decade, this has been realized by various thinkers, Kuhn and Galactus among them. Kuhn's ideas are interesting, but alas, they are much too vague to give rise to anything but lots of hot air. If you don't believe me, look at the literature. Never before has the literature on the philosophy of science been invaded by so many creeps and incompetents. Kuhn encourages people who have no idea why a stone falls to the ground to talk with assurance about scientific method. Now, I have no objection to incompetence, but I do object when incompetence is accompanied by boredom and self-righteousness. And this is exactly what happens. We do not get interesting false ideas. We get boring ideas or words connected with no ideas at all. Secondly, wherever one tries to make Kuhn's ideas more definite, one finds that they are false. Was there ever a period of normal science in the history of thought? No, and I challenge anyone to prove the contrary. By the way, people, Kuhn, he had the theory about science being dominated by scientific revolutions, revolutions in which all rationality in science went on holiday, and then after a new paradigm was set in place, you had a period called normal science, in which science operated in a stable fashion. Okay, that's just a short introduction of Kuhn for you. Lakatos is immeasurably more sophisticated than Kuhn. Instead of theories, he considers research programs which are sequences of theories connected by methods of modification, so-called heuristics. Each theory is the sequence. In the sequence may be full of faults. It may be beset by anomalies, contradictions, ambiguities. What counts is not the shape of the single theories, but the tendency exhibited by the sequence. We judge historical developments, achievements over a period of time, rather than the situation at a particular time. History and methodology are combined into a single enterprise. A research program is said to progress if the sequence of theories leads to novel predictions. It is said to degenerate if it is reduced to absorbing facts that have been discovered without its help. A decisive feature of Lakatos's methodology is that such evaluations are no longer tied to methodological rules which tell the scientist to either retain or to abandon a research program. By the way, people, a methodology is pretty much how to do things in science, a method, how to proceed. Okay. Scientists may stick to a degenerating program. They may even succeed in making the program overtake its rivals, and they therefore proceed rationally with whatever they are doing, provided they continue calling degenerating programs degenerating and progressive programs progressive. This means that Lakatos offers verbs without sound like the elements of a methodology. He does not offer a methodology. This is no method according to the most advanced and sophisticated methodology in existence today. This finishes my reply to part 1 of this specific argument. Against results. According to part 2, science deserves a special position because it has produced results. This is an argument only if it can be taken for granted that nothing else has ever produced results. Now, it may be admitted that almost everyone who discusses the matter makes such an assumption. It may also be admitted that it is not easy to show that the assumption is false. Forms of life different from science have either disappeared or have degenerated to an extent that makes a fair comparison impossible. Still, the situation is not as hopeless as it was only a decade ago.